shwd chi? Welcome to programme 4. By now, we know how to introduce ourselves, say who we are and where we live. If you haven't seen the earlier programmes, that's no problem. Just start now and you'll soon pick up the rest. Today, in fact, we're going to be discussing learning and speaking languages, Welsh in particular. And later on, we'll be coming back here to Pontrhydyfen in West Glamorgan. But our first examples come from Dolgellau in Gwynedd. We did our own survey to see how many linguists there are around, and the two main languages to listen out for are Cymraeg, Welsh, and Saesneg, English.
Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg a Saesneg.
Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg, Saesneg a Ffrangeg dipyn bach.
Cymraeg dwi'n siarad a dipyn bach o Saesneg de. Cymraeg, Saesneg ac Almaeneg. Saesneg a Cymraeg.
Cymraeg a dwi'n gallu siarad Saesneg.
Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg. I speak Welsh. Dwi'n siarad Saesneg. I speak English. Ffrangeg and Almaeneg, French and German were also mentioned.
Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg. I speak Welsh. Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg. In South Wales, they tend to drop the D. Wi'n siarad Cymraeg. If you've done any Welsh before, you may have seen this longer form. Dwi'n or wi'n siarad Saesneg. I speak English. Dwi'n siarad Saesneg. Tipyn bach. A little bit. Tipyn bach.
Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg, Saesneg a Ffrangeg dipyn bach.
Cymraeg a dwi'n gallu siarad Saesneg.
And that last speaker used an extra word, gallu. Gallu, to be able. Dwi'n gallu siarad Cymraeg. I am able to or I can speak Welsh. Back to the speakers.
Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg a Saesneg.
Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg, Saesneg a Ffrangeg dipyn bach.
Cymraeg dwi'n siarad a dipyn bach o Saesneg de. Cymraeg, Saesneg ac Almaeneg. Saesneg a Cymraeg.
Cymraeg a dwi'n gallu siarad Saesneg.
What if you wanted to ask someone whether they speak a certain language? One possible phrase would be, siarad Cymraeg, speak Welsh. But if you want the do you bit in, then you'd use ydych chi'n siarad Cymraeg. Or up here in the north, dach chi'n siarad Cymraeg. Do you speak Welsh?
Pump, naw, saith, wyth, 3, 6. Hello? Mr Hugh Griffiths, please. Oh, hello, Mr Griffiths. Dach chi'n siarad Cymraeg? Oh, da iawn.
Buenos días. ¿Qué hora es?
Dach chi'n siarad Cymraeg?
Dach chi'n siarad Cymraeg. Do you speak Welsh? Dach chi'n siarad Cymraeg.
We'll be dealing with a South Walian form later, but the answers are the same for everyone. Ydw? Yes, I do. Nac ydw? No, I don't. Ydw? Nac ydw? Ydw? Nac ydw? Now it's your turn. You'll be asked a number of questions by some of the people we've been talking to. Answer them with either ydw or nac ydw, and you'll be able to hear the answers in the background. And watch out for the Spanish and Russian at the end.
Dach chi'n siarad Cymraeg?
Ydw or nac ydw?
Dach chi'n siarad Saesneg?
Ydw or nac ydw?
Dach chi'n siarad Ffrangeg?
Ydw or nac ydw?
Dach chi'n siarad Sbaeneg?
Ydw or nac ydw?
Da chi'n siarad Rwsieg?
Ydw or nac ydw.
There are many language learners in Wales, and we're going to be asking people about their fluency in various languages up here in Dolgellau and down in Pontrhydyfen. The main pattern we'll be using is da chi'n siarad yn rhugl? Yn rhugl, fluently. Joe will be doing the asking up in Dolgellau and I'll be asking down in Pontrhydyfen. And watch how my question changes a little. And watch out for the esgusodwch fi. Excuse me. Oh, esgusodwch fi?
Esgusodwch fi, ydych chi'n siarad Cymraeg?
Ydw.
Ydych chi'n siarad Cymraeg yn rhugl?
Ydw.
Esgusodwch fi, i'ch chi'n siarad Ffrangeg?
Ydw.
I'ch chi'n siarad yn rhugl?
Nac ydw. Dim ond dipyn bach.
Esgusodwch fi, ydych chi'n siarad Almaeneg?
Nac ydw.
Saesneg?
Ydw, dwi'n siarad Saesneg yn rhugl.
Esgusodwch fi, i'ch chi'n siarad Ffrangeg?
Ydw.
I'ch chi'n siarad yn rhugl?
Nac ydw, dim ond tipyn bach.
Dim ond dipyn bach, just a little bit. I'm from the south. Did you notice how my question differed slightly?
Ich chi'n siarad Cymraeg? Do you speak Welsh? Ich chi'n siarad Cymraeg? If you've learned some Welsh before, you may have come across a longer version of the same thing.
Da chi'n siarad Cymraeg? Ich chi'n siarad Cymraeg. Wherever you are, I bet you're dying for a break. So let's relax and have a quick look round Pontrhydyfen. The village of Pontrhydyfen nestles under two huge bridges which span the river Afon. One of them used to be an aqueduct, and the other carried the coal trains down the Afon Valley, Cwm Afon, to Swansea Bay by Abertawe, a line which has long since closed. It's a divided village, one side being administered by the borough of Castellnedd, and the other by Aberafon Council. Life can be a bit complicated if your house happens to be bang in the middle, in a canal. Once a busy industrial valley in the heart of the South Wales coalfield, now nature, with a lot of human help, has taken over once again, as can be seen at the nearby Afon Argoed Country Park, Parc Afon Argoed. Helo, ych chi'n siarad Cymraeg?
Ydw.
Coffi os gwelwch chi'n dda. The South Wales Miners Museum has an exhibition which chronicles the history of the valley from pre-Roman to modern times.
Hello.
And the conservation of nature, natur, also plays an important part in the work of restoring the valley to its former glory in the days before the Industrial Revolution. The cycle path follows the route of the old railway down the valley, lawr y cwm, to Pontrhydyfen. Couldn't resist coming here to the house where Richard Burton was born. Trouble is, I now have to take this bike all the way back up to Parc Afon Argoed. Don't see why I couldn't park it here myself, but there we are. And from Pontrhydyfen, the birthplace of Burton and Emmanuel, back to business. The last person I interviewed before I went for my little spin added a bit to the answer. Listen again. And the question was, I chi'n siarad Ffrangeg? Do you speak French? Esgusodwch fi, I chi'n siarad Ffrangeg?
Ydw.
I chi'n siarad yn rhugl?
Nac ydw. Dim ond tipyn bach. Wy'n dysgu Ffrangeg.
Siarad, to speak. Dysgu, to learn. Try thinking about learning Welsh at dusk. Dysgu. Could work. Let's look at it anyway.
Dysgu Cymraeg. Learning Welsh. Dysgu Cymraeg.
Your turn. How many of these people are learning Welsh?
Helo, Ceri ydw i. Wy'n siarad Cymraeg.
John ydw i. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg yn yr ysgol nos.
Helo, Sandra ydw i. Wy'n siarad Cymraeg yn Rydl.
Helo, Pat ydw i. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg.
Alun ydw i. Wy'n siarad Cymraeg. Nia ydw i. Wy'n siarad Cymraeg.
Sharon ydw i. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg.
3. 3 said they were dysgu Cymraeg, learning Welsh. Listen again.
Helo, Ceri ydw i. Wy'n siarad Cymraeg.
John ydw i. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg yn yr ysgol nos.
Helo, Sandra ydw i. Wy'n siarad Cymraeg yn Rydl.
Helo, Pat ydw i. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg.
Alun ydw i. Wy'n siarad Cymraeg. Nia ydw i. Wy'n siarad Cymraeg.
Sharon ydw i. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg.
By the way, if somebody should ask you if you're rhugl eto, it's got nothing to do with opera. It's simply, are you fluent yet? Rhugl eto. You may also be asked, ble, where you're learning Welsh. Let's have a look at some of the possibilities.
Mewn dosbarth. In a class. Mewn dosbarth. Mewn dosbarth nos. In a night class. Mewn dosbarth nos. Yn yr ysgol. In school. Yn yr ysgol. O'r radio. From the radio. O'r radio. O'r teledu. From the television. O'r teledu. Yn y gwaith. In work. Yn y gwaith. Mewn dosbarth. Mewn dosbarth nos. Yn yr ysgol. O'r radio. O'r teledu. Yn y gwaith. Mewn dosbarth. Mewn dosbarth nos. Yn yr ysgol. O'r radio. O'r teledu. Yn y gwaith.
Well, that's the end of that. Phew, glad I didn't have to ride that bike. Now in English you'd say in school and in work. But in Welsh you'd say yn yr ysgol, in the school, and yn y gwaith, in the work. Let's have a look at those pictures again, and this time, as they appear, you say that is where you're learning Welsh. Wy'n dysgu or dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg mewn dosbarth nos, yn yr ysgol, yn y gwaith, o'r radio, o'r teledu.
Dwi'n o dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg mewn dosbarth. Wi'n o dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg mewn dosbarth nos. Wi'n dysgu Cymraeg yn yr ysgol. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg o'r radio. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg o'r teledu. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg yn y gwaith.
Gareth and Kerry are getting to know the third person to move in to 8 Ffordd y Parc.
Iawn, mae'n oer yma.
O, ydi.
Thank you. Good morning.
Bore da. O, da chi'n siarad Cymraeg?
O, dw. Wel, wy'n dysgu Cymraeg. Clive ydw i.
Shwmai, Kerry.
Gareth, sut da chi?
Le chi'n dysgu?
Mewn dosbarth. Ac o radio. Wy'n dilyn catchphrase.
Ers pryd?
Mis Medi. Wy'n byw yn fflat 1.
A dwi'n byw yn fflat 2.
A fflat 3 wy'n byw. Galwch mewn am goffi.
O, diolch.
Oce. Hwyl. Hwyl.
Galwch mewn am goffi. Call in for coffee. There were some handy phrases there. Clive said, "Wi'n dilyn catchphrase." I'm following catchphrase on the radio. He could also have said, "Wi'n dilyn, now you're talking." Another phrase was, ers pryd, since when. You're likely to be asked this one, so let's have a look at it.
Ers pryd, since when. Ers pryd. Mis Medi, September. Mis Medi.
O, da chi'n siarad Cymraeg?
O, dw. Wel, wy'n dysgu Cymraeg. Clive ydw i.
Shwmai, Kerry.
Gareth, sut da chi?
Le chi'n dysgu?
Mewn dosbarth. Ac o radio. Wy'n dilyn catchphrase.
Ers pryd?
Mis Medi. Wy'n byw yn fflat 1.
A dwi'n byw yn fflat 2.
A fflat 3 wy'n byw. Galwch mewn am goffi.
O, diolch.
Oce. Hwyl. Hwyl.
A dyna ni am y tro. That's it for now. Next time we'll be looking at likes and dislikes. The not so popular television programmes and the very popular television programmes. Now you're talking. Tan hynny, until then, hwyl.
In this Now You're Talking, you've seen Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg, Dwi'n siarad Saesneg. Ych chi'n gallu siarad Cymraeg? Da chi'n dysgu? Yn rhugl. Tipyn bach, mewn dosbarth, yn yr ysgol, o'r teledu. Yn y gwaith, ers pryd, mis Medi.